Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to talk about movies. Today, this movie is not particularly horror, but there is a lot of violence in the film and I have been dying to watch it. So let's sit down and talk spoiler free about The Northman.
It's coffee time.
Now, I have been able to upload in a while. I did watch this movie on the 5th of April, but my PC decided to die. So it still has to be fixed. There's several parts that needs to be exchanged and all. So I'm going to try to edit and upload this video through a laptop that I have fixed with the programs that I need. So hopefully you will be seeing this video because I really needed to let you guys know my thoughts on the new Robert Eggers movie. Robert Eggers is somebody that just came on like a wrecking ball into the movie industry. He was in New York as a director and producer from some theater plays and got the chance to bring his vision to life in his first full-length movie, The Witch, which was really acclaimed, and then we got The Lighthouse, which was also quite loved. I know a lot of people really were harsh about it, but I think that you need to give him credit for his two films, and I was extremely excited to see what he was going to do next. This guy was born exactly the same year that I was born, and it is kind of embarrassing to realize how much he has accomplished in his young age, and it's kind of making me feel like shit. The Witch was an amazing debut film, and this movie is obviously, as the title implies, about witches, but it is not your typical movie. It is based in New England in the 17th century, and I really truly enjoyed this film. Then we got The Lighthouse, which is about these two guys that are working on a lighthouse in an isolated island and the visions that they get. Now this movie really divided the audiences. I feel like The Witch, most people loved it, and with The Lighthouse there was a division between people that loved it and people that hated it. I'm just kind of in the middle. I do prefer The Witch for some reason, I guess because of the theme is more something that I would enjoy personally, so it's kind of more of a subjective choice, if you may. But honestly, The Lighthouse has one of the best things that I've ever seen in cinema, and that is Willem Dafoe farting his way through the film. So last week on the 5th of April, I saw that there was a sneak preview on the cinema here, and I was really excited because when I was living in Germany I couldn't really go to the sneak previews because they were always in cinemas that show the movies in German, so all of them dubbed, and I don't like that. So now I have the choice here to actually go to sneak previews and just be surprised by the movie that I'm about to see. I had several options. I was like, maybe we're gonna see Morbius, maybe we're gonna see The Northman. I had a couple of others because I was suspecting it was gonna be something that was gonna be released in April. And like, you cannot imagine my joy when I saw the opening of the film and I realized it was The Northman. I think either I had an orgasm or I peed myself a little bit, one of the two. But like, my happiness, I just cannot describe this to you because I was so excited to see the new movie by Robert Eggers, and being able to see it before anybody else was just so satisfying. This is a Viking, a Scandinavian story that was inspired by the same tale that Shakespeare used to create Hamlet. And yeah, let's dig into this film. Let's talk about it a little bit spoiler free as always. I know it's not even out in a lot of countries, so I promise you this is going to be completely spoiler free. Even though honestly I've seen some spoilers of this movie on Instagram before the movie even came out as a sneak preview here, so just be aware of your social media. Robert Eggers' new film, The Northman, is a historical epic film based on the legend of Amleth. The film stars Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Claes Bang, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, Bjork, and Willem Dafoe. Prince Amleth is on the verge of becoming a man and learning what it takes to be a king in his kingdom when his father is brutally murdered and he witnesses it. So he decides from that point on that he's going to focus all his energy to revenge his father and save his mother that has been now kidnapped. Amleth is now a Viking who slays and raids through Slavic villages, and he's become kind of just a monster in a way. That's how he's presented to us at the beginning as an adult. And even though the story, especially at the beginning, might look like it's really simple and straightforward, which it is in some ways, I do feel like there is a really big gray area involving our main character's journey, and we might sometimes question his actions. When it comes to the characters, I have to say the cast is absolutely fantastic. It is a really strong cast. This is probably also the best role for Alexander Skarsgård so far. He really shines here. And we do have, of course, my returning Willem Dafoe that plays again the weird character. I think that he's been really stereotyped as this weird character. He was also playing, you know, the weird character in Nightmare Alley in the new Guillermo del Toro's movie. I feel like he's a little bit typecasted. So I am extremely excited to see him in the upcoming Nosferatu. That has to be one of my most anticipated movies of all times. I absolutely love Nosferatu and vampire movies, so I am extremely excited to see him in this role, especially since he already played him in Shadow of the Vampire, which is one of my absolute top favorite vampire movies of all times. But let's go back to our main cast, because Willem Dafoe is kind of like a side character here, but we do have Alexander Skarsgård carrying the whole movie in his shoulders. His evolution as a character with a lot of gray areas in the film is fantastic, and he does such an amazing job, and he really had to prepare not just mentally but also physically for this role. Anna Taylor-Joy is still one of my favorite actresses, like newer favorite actresses from the last years. I absolutely adore her. I think she does an amazing job in this role as well, and I think she's one to watch. And it was really interesting to me to see Nicole Kidman in such a role. I would have never pictured her in a Robert Eggers movie, but I think she fits the part so well, and she did such an amazing job. Everybody, like the whole cast, was just fantastic in this film. Amleth's tale takes him not only through Viking culture, but also to explore the Slavic cultures and their different religions, their gods, and their rituals. So there was a lot of rich characters because we really got to see their backgrounds, their beliefs, their rituals, everything was explored, and it was just so good. Both the previous films from Robert Eggers were by A24, and he had a smaller budget. Now this one is with Focus Features, and he had a larger budget to bring his vision to life. Because Robert Eggers really does have a vision that is always very specific, sometimes weird, but he always manages to translate his vision to the screen, and I think that's also part of why I enjoy his movies so much, because of his unique vision of things. I feel like with the Northman he did take this to the next level, and the way that this movie was shot and the way that his vision was brought to life and all the extreme, you know, attention paid to detail just made sure that this movie is probably going to be the best movie maybe of 2022. Eggers mentioned in an interview that actually having a different studio now really pushing him to deliver, and to deliver what he pitched to the studio originally really made him work in this movie in a way he would not have done it originally, you know, to make a beginning, a middle, and an ending. And it says it really helped him to actually bring his director's cut directly to the big screen, so he is really happy with the way that things worked out. And this is also one of his most accessible movies. Like, I feel like this is going to be the one that most audiences are going to connect with. But the movie is also packed with so much mythology, so much Norse mythology, and you know, other cultures that I don't think everybody is going to understand all the references. Like, the detail when it comes to really explore the mythology and the way the Vikings did things and lived and their beliefs it's just stunning the way that he did all the research and brought it all up to the screen. Like, every little thing on the screen is pointing to things related to the Norse mythology, and it's just so stunning to see. And even though this movie, like I said, it's probably gonna be his most accessible movie, that ending was chef's kiss. That ending was stunning, fantastic, loved it, and I want to rewatch that ending over and over again. Darren Blaschke is the cinematographer for this film that already worked with Eggers in The Witch and The Lighthouse, and I feel, again, the amount of work put into the cinematography, the long shots, it's just stunning. I mean, only for that you should already go and watch this film, because it was absolutely mesmerizing. You're gonna be captivated by the whole film, not just the characters but also the images, and you're just not gonna be able to, you know, take your eyes off the screen. Everything from the cinematography to the score is taking us back in time. For the score, they use tunes and instruments from the old days, kind of taking us back a little bit on time and kind of helping that mystery element, that kind of epic element to the film. In all of Eggers' movies to date, the physical and the spiritual realms kind of merge. They feel closely and practically are connected. When it comes to the horror, there's not much that I can talk about here, because obviously this is not a horror movie, but there is a great kind of pacing and change between the violent, brutal scenes and the moments where our main character's journey is taking him through some learning processes. He's finding out things about himself, he's having some meditation moments almost, and that is perfectly balanced with brutal, like bloody, on your face violence. The fight scenes are really intense, they are ruthless, they are raw, and there is a lot of, you know, blood and gore in the film, a lot more than you might expect. There are some moments that I was like, oh wow, like we really went there, and I absolutely loved it. The whole movie is basically a tale of revenge, and you know what characters do when they are craving revenge. They just lose control of themselves sometimes, and they just crave the blood, and they don't care whose blood they have to spill to get revenge. Needless to say, I absolutely love this film. I do believe it is the best movie from Robert Eggers so far, and I decided to give the movie a full 5 out of 5. I think this movie is perfection. I think this movie is amazing, stunning, and everybody should go and watch it. Honestly, this was such an amazing experience. The Northman is a magic tale of war, romance, magic, and it does explore so well the Vikings, their culture, their rituals, but all with his own vision. And he combines that accuracy also with, you know, the magical aspects, the mythical aspects of the Viking culture and things that have made them so popular. This movie was extremely powerful, amazingly shot, great performances. It is such a strong story, and I feel like everybody should go and watch it. Alright guys, so this was my spoiler-free review of The Northman that is gonna be on theaters really soon. Please go and watch it, especially if you loved other movies by Robert Eggers. And if you don't like his other films, I still recommend you to go and watch this one, because it did felt differently, in the sense that it felt like it could be more approachable for a lot of different audiences, and it's something that I didn't get with his other films. So still give it a try if you were not so happy with his other movies, because I feel like it has a different vibe. Alright you guys, let me know down below if you were lucky to already go and watch it like I was, or if you're really waiting for that release date, if you're excited, if you love Robert Eggers movies or not. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Thanks so much you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!